So I may be late to the party, but these cards are nice. What's going on, you guys? Slim here to talk about, I guess, the most popular topic that has been on YouTube, YugiTube in the last couple days. And it's these three crazy new promos that are coming in the new Mega Tins, the Gold Sark Tins. And I know, late to the party, but don't care. These cards are nuts, and it's kind of crazy. Most people are going to think, damn, Slim, how can you be a fan of these? Because these really do kind of, in a sense, destroy your combo decks and stuff. And it's like, it's true, but like I've always said, whenever it comes to new cards, we learn to adapt and we just play forward. And some things I've already seen that some players are just saying, well, they better have it, which is always how it is. But we'll go over each card individually. I got them pulled up on my screen here, and I really think that these cards are going to really change the game a lot. And I actually don't think it's going to change the game in a bad way at all. Like a lot of people are saying, these new hand trap, these new cards will, kind of in a sense try to balance out Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's some other things I want to talk about because of these cards, because it's something that was brought up. I've heard it in other videos, and I've heard from you guys telling me things about this, and it really made me rethink. And it's when it comes to why we got the ban list we got. So we will start with Nibiru, the Primal Being. So it's a level 11 rock, light, 3000 attack, 600 defense. This card's insane. Everyone is memeing it as the new Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because it's basically Wing Dragon of Raw Sphere mode from your hand, quick effect. It's crazy. Okay, so during the main phase, if your opponent normal or special summons 5 or more monsters this turn, quick effect, you can tribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand, then special summon one Primal Being token, which will be a level 11. It's got question mark, attack, defense. To your opponent's side of the field, this token's attack and defense becomes the combined original attack and defense of the tributed monsters. You can only use the effect once per turn. Okay. Damn. Damn is all I can say. So basically, this card is Sphere mode when your opponent summons 5 or more monsters. Now, let's face it. I played Crusadia Thunder. I played Danger Thunder. I played all the versions of Thunder. I played combo decks. 5 summons, it happens all the time. Like literally back in the day, literally off Solar Waiva Buster, you were just doing 4 monsters right there, and then it started using, like, literally you already had your 5 things happening already, and it's already crazy that a card like this exists. Basically, you can hold this, to your opponent's almost done their combo, and then swipe off their whole board. And then, yeah, they get a big token, but it's a big token that's a vanilla that does nothing. You also get this monster on your side of the field, which I think is crazy, so that's nuts. Man, this card, like, literally, where was this card when Goki's was a deck? Like, really, when Goki's was a deck, when they were doing the Gumblar loop and stuff like that. You know how cool it would be to just swipe the whole board before they even get to do that, so you get to keep your hand? It was crazy, but this card is amazing. Like, this card is so insane, and, wow, it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary. Does that mean combo decks are unplayable? Absolutely not. Even with some of these other cards that are here, it doesn't mean combo decks are unplayable whatsoever. But this card is just so cool because it's being compared to, of course, Wing Dragon and Raw Sphere mode. Being able to do it quick play is amazing. And it makes it so that, okay, yeah, combo decks have pretty much run our format here. Of course, I made the video talking about, Salomon Great, winning Worlds. Again, that was a different format. Salad had amazing representation through the TCG as well. But at the end of the day, the combo decks were considered to be the superior decks, just putting out these just, like, insane boards. Like, the boards are insane. There's no denying it. These boards were insane. So many negates. And it wasn't even so much that they were also negates. But one thing never gets really addressed. Did you realize that the monsters were just big, too? Like, you had Colossus, which 26, or boosted with Saryuja. You got Saryuja itself, 2800. You go into Heraldic Seal, okay, that doesn't really count. It doesn't have any attack, but it just turns into another interruption. Your hot red is 3200, 3500 under Saryuja. Like I said, if you have multiple Colossus, if you have the Hope Harbinger, which becomes 33 under Saryuja, like, the monsters were big too. Like, that was the thing, is not only were you dealing with negates, you were dealing with bodies. And yes, you could draw the Sphere mode, or you couldn't draw the Sphere mode. Either if you draw the Sphere mode or not, your opponent still got to combo off, and you just really hope that you had Sphere mode. This way, when your opponent tries to combo off, you open this card, you can stop them at any point you want, pretty much. Because I can tell you right now, 5 summons, not that hard. Now, will a combo deck come around that does under 5 summons? Maybe. I don't really know. We'll see as the format continues to progress. But yeah, this card is insane. Of course, everyone memed it as Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It's just so funny. But yeah, no, this card is insane. And even though I'm a combo deck player, I think it's a great card. Like, it's a great card because it does bring, in a sense, some balance to the overpowered combo decks. Because even as a combo deck player, I will admit that the boards are obscene. Same thing with Pendulum, same thing with all these decks. And, this card is a nice answer to it. So there's that card. Next, we have Dimension Shifter. So Dimension Shifter is basically a hand trap. It's it's a level 6. Spellcaster Dark, 1200 attack, 2200 defense. Not really relevant, but it being dark actually is relevant. I take that back. Let me see. And, oh yeah, okay, so here's the funny thing. So the first thing about these two modules, the last one's a spell. One is light, one is dark. Like, shout out to Konami. Like, you guys keep giving light and dark just so much support. Like, that's so crazy. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But think about it. If you're playing a combo deck and you basically destroy your opponent's combo deck with this card, then you can use it as your chaos fuel. Like, that's so ridiculous. Okay, so back to this monster again. It's a level 6 Spellcaster Dark. If you have no cards in your graveyard, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard until the end of the next turn. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Okay. This is basically a hand trap version of what was it? A different dimension. Was it different dimension barrier or something like that? DDR or something like that. The trap card. The trap card that basically did the same thing. And what's really cool about this is that this is basically the same thing. And people have talked about like, okay, its one drawback is that you have to see it going first, like, or going second. Like, you have to see it going second because, you know, your opponent starts to do things. You just discard it at any time, and literally, you know, all their stuff gets banished. And then people think this could, you know, help some decks, but it won't really help as many decks as you think. It really does hurt decks like Orcus. It does hurt SlimYGO. It hurts actually every deck of the format right now because it's Sky Strikers too. Like, everything not going to the graveyard, not being able to fuel engage, not being able to, you know, fuel your chaos monsters. Yes, if you banish some of the Thunder Dragons, yes, they'll trigger, but that's not really relevant. The Crusadias need to be in the graveyard half the time. Like, if you're using them for, you know, the add back with Draco, or your or, you know, you're banishing like the Magias or whatever to summon your chaos monsters, this won't even be possible because you won't have a graveyard. So that's pretty crazy. Again, against Orcus, I mean, you want everything in the graveyard, and there's no graveyard, so it's pretty crazy. It almost can, you know, buy you a whole turn, and that buying a turn in Yu-Gi-Oh you can't put a price on that. Like, it's so crazy. Buying a turn in Yu-Gi-Oh is nuts these days. You know, that's how it is. And yeah, this card is insane for that. It does give you that ability against certain decks. Now, again, it's not good against all decks. So that's another thing. Back to Nibiru is that, yes, these two cards, they're not good against back row decks. They're not good against, you know, Altergeist. They're not good against like True Draco. They're not good against Subterra Guru, any of those control decks. But again, this wouldn't be something I don't think we would ever see in the main deck. This is something I feel that would just be amazing side deck options. So I think this card is really cool. I like the, you know, kind of just like the design of this card, it being a new hand trap in a sense, and it being something that, you know, lets you, you know, just kind of halt off your opponent for like a turn. And I think that's really, really cool. So I'm actually a big fan of both of these cards. I'm actually a fan of all three of these cards. So yeah, that's Dimension Shifter. Not really much to talk about. Like I said, it is comparable to Different Dimension Ground, so it is cool in that sense. Something also like Silent Graveyard, stuff like that, but this is any card sent, so that's really cool. So that's really beneficial. And yes, there will be the drawback that if you draw it late, but again, it is a dark, so if you are playing a dark based deck, a dark and light based deck, a combo based deck that uses chaos monsters, I mean it fuels it. Like, I just realized that now looking at these cards. That was one thing I didn't notice when I was watching some of the other channels videos, is, oh my god, they're dark and light. That's so crazy. But anyways, and the last card, which I think is actually, it's really hard to say which one's my favorite. I want to say this one might be it, and it's Dark Ruler No More. It's a spell card, and it reads, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, your opponent takes no damage. Neither player can activate monster effects or respond to this card's activation. Okay, this just basically says no to your whole negate board. That's what it does. It says no to your whole negate board. Like, that's so crazy. The fact that you cannot activate monster effects in response to this card's activation is crazy. So you activate this, you can't number 38 it. You activate this, you can't hot red it. You can't negate this card with the monsters that are coming out usually from the Guard Dragon boards, and that's insanity. I can see decks really utilizing this, especially in the side deck going second, just activating this, blanketing the board, breaking the board. And one thing I'll tell you, having played combo decks, a lot of you combo players know this, is that as powerful as our decks are, when we spit out the whole field and everything, if our board gets broken, it's very hard to come back. It's kind of like a glass cannon, because if you look at our extra decks, I believe on most averages, and I could be wrong, I believe when you're done most combos, you have maybe 3 cards left in your extra deck. I want to say it's 3 cards. I want to say it's 3. From all my testing I've done playing Danger Thunders, all these things, it's usually I have like 3 things left in my extra deck after I've full comboed, you know, uninterrupted, etc., etc. And that's so crazy. So you mean to tell me I've summoned 12 extra deck monsters, all I have left is 3, and basically you just wipe my whole board? how do I come back? Yes, there's cards like Levianeer and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. Like, that's so crazy to me when I think about that yes, you invest almost everything into the combo, and if it gets disrupted, it's really hard to come back. So this card is definitely going to have an impact in that. And again, it's another one thing I'll say about these 3 cards is that, again, none of them are good against like the back row decks, the control decks, but this is a huge boost to control decks. Like, we're definitely going to see the control decks starting to rise again. And maybe this is kind of going back to what I said in the beginning of the video. People were wondering on our ban list, why did Thunder not get hit? Like, I thought it too. Like, I'll be honest, I thought it too. I thought for sure, you know, they're really going to do something. I don't know what, but they're going to do something to my babies. And yeah, they hit a couple things, but nothing really relevant. And, you know, LP, all the guard dragons are still here. All this stuff is here. And now it makes sense. These cards were the reason, and these cards are insane. And I really think that these cards are going to be definitely something we're going to see in people's side decks. I don't know if all 3 of these cards will be sided, but I can definitely see Nibiru, and I can definitely see Dark Ruler No More being sided. I think they're insane cards, and they might even see main deck play, I'll be honest. And some of these going second decks, I mean, why not? Like, it's crazy. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do and ring the bell, because notifications, all that stuff, you guys know how it works. But yeah, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on these cards. I think these cards are amazing. I think they changed the game a lot. I don't think they ruin the game. I think they're bringing balance to the game, and I really do like that. I think that this way, at least, you do have more options at your disposal to stop these combo decks. So if you are a control player, if you are a different type of deck player, you get more options, and there's nothing wrong with that. It makes the game evolve. It makes people play new decks, and I think that's healthy just for the game in general. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. When these cards come out, they're guaranteed in the tins. You know, you can get your tins either for however you get them, but if you do want to get them off TCG Player, you know, use my link down below. It helps me out, helps the channel out, and I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you think about these cards. I think they're crazy. I think they're great for the game, and I can't wait to see them in action coming up in the new format. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.